What if the ingredient quietly harming millions isn't a drug or alcohol, but something sitting in your kitchen right now? It's a sweet deception, a common addition to our daily meals that we often overlook. Yes, we're talking about sugar, a seemingly harmless substance that sweetens our lives. But behind its sweet facade, sugar may be contributing to a host of health issues that are plaguing our society. From obesity to type 2 diabetes, heart disease, to potential cancer links, sugar could be the invisible enemy we've been ignoring. It's not just about the sweetness on our tongues, but the impact it has on our bodies. It's time to take a closer look at the sugar we consume, to understand its effects, and to reconsider our relationship with this sweet deception. Scientists say added sugar may be driving obesity, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and possibly even cancer. Dr. Robert Lustig, pediatric endocrinologist, calls added sugar a primary driver of the modern metabolic crisis. Since the 70s, we've seen a terrifying surge in health issues. Obesity rates have tripled, and cases of type 2 diabetes have skyrocketed. Even children are now being diagnosed with fatty liver disease. But what's causing this epidemic? It's not just about consuming more calories. It's about the type of calories we're consuming. We're talking about sugar, a seemingly innocent ingredient that's wreaking havoc on our metabolism. You see, when we consume excess sugar, our bodies have to work overtime to process it. This can lead to insulin resistance, a key factor in the development of metabolic syndrome and diabetes. What's more, the fructose in added sugars gets converted into fat by our livers, contributing to obesity and heart disease. This is not just about calories, it's about how sugar alters metabolism. Sugar hides in foods you don't expect. Bread, yogurt, sauces, protein bars. It's a stealthy infiltrator, sweetening our meals with a dangerous allure. Even foods that are marketed as healthy are often laced with this hidden foe. The most common form of this concealed enemy is high fructose corn syrup. It may sound harmless, a simple derivative of corn, but don't let the name fool you. Chemically, it's nearly identical to the sugar sitting innocently in your sugar bowl. Both are laden with fructose, a type of sugar that our bodies struggle to process. Unlike glucose, which our cells readily use for energy, fructose is shunted to the liver. And here's where the real damage begins. The liver, overwhelmed with fructose, begins to convert it into fat. This fat buildup can lead to serious health complications, including obesity and fatty liver disease. And excess fructose is processed in the liver, where it is converted into fat. Research by Kimber Stanhope found that in just 2 weeks of consuming high fructose drinks, participants showed increased LDL cholesterol and triglycerides. This is a startling revelation. LDL cholesterol is the bad kind, the kind that forms plaque in your arteries, setting the stage for heart disease. And all of this in just 2 weeks. But what does this really mean? It's a challenge to the age-old idea that a calorie is just a calorie. It's a wake-up call, telling us that not all calories are created equal. Some, like those from added sugars, can play havoc with our bodies, silently leading us down the path to heart disease. This is not an indictment of sugar, but rather a caution against excess. The key is understanding that while sugar can play a part in a balanced diet, it's a part that needs to be kept in check. Not all calories behave the same inside the body. Harvard researcher Cantley studies how tumors grow. His work is instrumental in understanding the connection between sugar and cancer. When we consume sugar, it raises our blood glucose levels. In response, our bodies produce insulin, a hormone that signals cells to grow. Some cancer cells, particularly aggressive ones, respond to high insulin environments, which can potentially fuel their growth. It's like pouring gasoline on a smouldering fire. Now, it's crucial to clarify that sugar doesn't directly cause cancer. It's not a villain with a smoking gun, but in a body that's already at risk, excess sugar can provide the fuel that cancer cells need to grow. It's like giving them a green light to multiply. So, while we can't label sugar as a direct cause of cancer, there's a growing body of evidence that suggests excess sugar may fuel growth pathways in susceptible cells. Neuroscientist Eric Stice used brain scans to study sugar's effect. The results were startling. Sugar doesn't just satisfy your sweet tooth. It activates dopamine reward pathways in your brain, casting a spell of pleasure that is eerily similar to that of addictive substances. This dopamine spike is the brain's way of saying, "I like this, do it again." But here's the catch. Over time, your brain develops a tolerance to sugar. Just as with any other addiction, you need more and more of the sweet stuff to feel that same rush of pleasure. That's why you find yourself reaching for one more cookie or pouring a second, third, fourth spoonful of sugar into your coffee. And those cravings you thought were a sign of weakness, they're not. They're a manifestation of your brain's neurochemistry, a signal that you're caught in the addiction loop. Cravings may not be weakness, they may be neurochemistry. The American Heart Association recommends no more than 150 calories of added sugar per day for men and 100 for women. That's the daily safe limit. But what does it really mean? To put it into perspective, that's less than the sugar content in one typical can of soda. Yes, you heard it right. A single can of your favorite fizzy drink can send your sugar intake skyrocketing beyond the recommended limit. Now, imagine the amount of sugar you consume in a day, unknowingly, through various food and beverages. It's a startling realization, isn't it? We are living in a sweet deception, where the silent enemy is not outside, but lurking in our daily diet. And the bitter truth is, most of us are consuming far more sugar than the safe limit allows every single day. Yet most people exceed that daily. Sugar isn't evil, but chronic overexposure is. It's not the occasional indulgence that sets the stage for detrimental health effects. It's the constant, hidden intake that's woven into our daily lives. It's the sugar that lurks in our breakfast cereals, our lunch sandwiches, our dinner sauces, and our seemingly healthy snacks. The solution isn't to demonize sugar, but to become aware of its pervasive presence. It's about turning the tide on the silent epidemic of overconsumption. Every food label you read, every teaspoon of added sugar you avoid, is a step towards safeguarding your metabolism, your health, your life. Reducing sugar isn't about deprivation. It's about making informed choices, about prioritizing health over momentary sweetness. It's about realizing that your health isn't governed by chance, but by the daily decisions you make. Remember, health isn't random, it compounds, and every decision counts.